some music. We'll just say welcome to One Heart, One Mind, and welcome Jackie Jones for our opening music.
So much, so glad to be here. This is what I know. We are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. And all I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Yes, this is what I know, that we are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. And all I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Yes, now I let it go with such appreciation. Sheer exhilaration, now I set it free. And so it is, and so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in. And now we begin. Oh, yeah, yeah, yes, yes. This is what I know. We are all connected, yeah, yeah, yes. This is what I know. Yes, this is what I know. We are all connected.
Oh, you picked one of my very, very favorite songs. I love that song. That's J.D. Martin and Jan Garrett wrote that song. And sometimes I'll turn it way up loud in my car and just listen to it. You know, and sing along where no one can hear.
Yes, well, I loved you
Such a
singing
beautiful,
just now. Love to see your, I'd love to see you.
so great. Thank you for gifting us with that. I really appreciate it. It's beautiful. Oh, and I would like to invite our practitioner of the day, Ralane Clarke, to give us our invocation. And I think she's got a story. I think she told me she had a story. Welcome, Ralane.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, so let's just close our eyes, and that beautiful song of Jackie's, just feel that connection, the connection to spirit and God. And it's really a wonderful time of the year where there's just a feeling of, it's an angelic feeling of good cheer and sharing and connection and kindness and compassion and empathy and all those wonderful qualities, and just feeling those flowing in and of and through all of us here this morning, this little intimate group that we have. And yet it reaches out to so many more, all those that are a part of One Heart, One Mind community, and beyond, our family and friends. And I just know that this morning's service is absolutely perfect. It just touches on that angelic feeling of connection and community and love. It just reaches out already to everyone that we care about, and even those that we don't know. And I'm so grateful for this moment in time together with each and every one of you. It really does feel like holy, sacred time and a wonderful way to enter the holiday season. Well, I guess we've already entered it. And so I just released this prayer with gratitude in my heart and love. And I just know it is already so. And I just say with all of you, and so it is. So last December, during the time of winter solstice, I was again reminded that winter solstice is a sacred time to honor our connection with the natural world. In Hebrew, the word ruach means breath, wind, nature, spirit, and space. In Hebrew, words mean a lot of things. I love to say ruach as part of my prayers, meditations, connecting within myself and within nature and spirit. Winter solstice is a time to slow down, going within, for more of a connection and an understanding of myself, my divinity, and where I live, our land and trees and wildlife, and just with Mother Earth. My husband Jim and I were walking our dog one evening, and we heard two owls hooting to each other in our forest. And it was a very dark evening, and the owls were close by, perched high in our trees, but we couldn't see them. And I felt a magical peace hearing the owls' hoots echoing through our forest. One owl would hoot, and the other owl would wait and listen for a space of time. And then the listening owl would respond. Jim and I found ourselves listening in the space between the hoots, listening in the darkness. And when an owl would respond in that space of silence, we felt a spiritual connecting with that owl that was very exciting. In the universal world of nature, owls hooting in the dark, listening to the reverberations in the space between, and waiting for the listening owl to respond seems a perfect way to feel a connection, communion, and peace within myself, nature, and spirit, and our community. Listening to the owls, I feel at home with my divinity. Jim and I were saying to each other that it was romantic listening to the owls, and not just a romantic love for each other, but a romantic love for Mother Earth and nature. We don't really know what the owls were saying to each other that night. Yet, when the owls were communicating and we were all listening together in the space between, there was love. Let's just close our eyes and take a minute to feel that love in the space between the hoots. So let us now come back together and still feel that love as we continue on. And do we have an affirmation, Reverend Michelle?
We do. And put it together kind of at the last minute, so it's not pretty, but it's nice.
I'm sure it's perfect. Okay, December's affirmation. Today I realize my loving connection at all that is. I honor myself, I honor others, and I honor all the creatures of the earth. I honor the earth itself. I see myself in all that exists. We are one. We are one. We are one. And so it is.
So yes, that's very nice. Went right along with yours.
Yes, it surely did go right along with hers. And, I've heard you tell that story before, and I love it because I love the idea of the space between the hoots as being that rich listening and that rich connections. Beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
And I think Jackie has some more music for us. Jackie, you have some more music for us?
I do. Thank you. And if you know this, you can sing along. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. Well, I'm walking the road to heaven right now. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. Well, I'm walking the road to joy right now. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing freedom today. I'm choosing freedom today. Well, I'm walking the road to freedom right now. I'm choosing freedom today. I choose compassion. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. Well, I'm walking the road to heaven right now. I choose compassion today. Choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. Yes, I'm walking the road to heaven right now. I'm choosing heaven today. Yes, I'm walking the road to heaven right now. I'm choosing heaven today.
Yes, we are. Because heaven is not a place, it is a state of being. Woohoo! Love that. Thank you, Jackie. That's beautiful. Oh, let's all take a nice deep breath in. And good morning. Welcome to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living's online Sunday service. Can you believe it's December? This December, our monthly theme, our focus is on living everyday wonder through the experience of community. Community, interesting topic. We kind of throw that word community around a lot. We refer to ourselves as a spiritual community. We talk about coming together in community, and we say that we live in a larger community, the community of humankind. So I think it's appropriate to take a closer look at what community really means and how we can relate to it personally in our center as a spiritual community and to the world. Years ago, as I saw the title for this month, I remembered this talk. Years ago, I wrote a talk called The Power of Community. And at that time, I remember I dug into the origin or the etymology of the word community. And I found that I don't want to get it wrong, it comes from the Latin word communitas, which is a combination of the Latin prefix com, which means together, and munitas, which means to perform a service. So the origin of the word community literally means together we perform a service. And I thought our community, One Heart, One Mind, is a group of individuals who come together in service, and we're in service to our individual members, our individual attendees, and to the group at large, the whole entire One Heart, One Mind community, and to the larger community, that being human thing again, the human community. So, and I also, what I did is I was getting ready for today's message is I pulled this book off my shelf that I've had for a long time, and I see it every now and then, and I thought, wow, I really like that. I like that title. And the title of the book is The Beloved Community. It was written by Reverend Dr. Jim Lockhart, who is a minister in our organization and Centers for Spiritual Living. And what he wrote is kind of long, but I think that it is worth reading, so worth hearing anyway. And so I'm gonna actually, I haven't been doing this of late, but I'm gonna actually share my screen and share his quote, because I think this is just really pertinent to what we're going to be talking about the next couple of Sundays or so. So here's what Jim Lockhart wrote. He said, "The beloved community is a collection of individuals who are learning how to love themselves, one another, and the universe. That's pretty much covers it, right? That's pretty much everything. Regardless of what name we give this idea, it is the same thing. The creation of the experience of belonging and experience of wonders of who we are individually and collectively. It's a place where purpose and passion meet, where we practice being the person we desire to be and support others in that effort. It is where our faith in spiritual principle is realized as true compassion and service. Oh, I really like this. It really speaks to the idea of the original meaning of community. Together we perform a service. We show up for ourselves, for the group, in compassion and service. I just think that is a really wonderful definition for community. Really describes it succinctly. You'll notice, I think it's important to notice that Lockhart reminds us right out of the gate that community is a collection of individuals, which means that our experience of community has to begin with each of us discovering who we are. First we discover who we are. Spoiler alert, we're unique expressions of the divine. And that discovering leads us to what we stand for and what we want to bring to the party. What are we going to bring to the table? And I thought of, as I was reminded of who we are as individuals, of the line from Jesus. It's in Matthew 5:14. And I don't want to get this wrong either, so I wrote it down. And he said this, he told us this. This is who he said we are. You are indeed the light of the world. A city that is built upon a mountain cannot be hidden, nor do we light a lamp and put it under a basket, but a lampstand that it gives light to all who are in the house. We don't come into our human lives to play small, to hide out under a basket, but to stand on the mountaintop and to shine the light of the divine through us wherever we are. And imagine the light that we can shine when we collectively shine together in community. First we discover who we are, what we stand for, and then we come together in community to love and care for ourselves and others. And then we move into sacred service in the world, to be that light, that presence in the world. There's this great metaphor, I've alluded to it earlier, that we use often in Centers for Spiritual Living. I know I like it a lot. And we use it because it relates so perfectly to the continuous journey of human evolution that we're always on. And the metaphor is the transformational journey of the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. You probably know the basics. The caterpillar attaches itself to a leaf or a branch, and then it begins to spin a chrysalis around itself, to encase itself in this chrysalis. And here's what I think is really the amazing part of this story. Within the caterpillar, already, there since its creation, are these dormant cells. They're called, and I just love this name, they're called imaginal cells. And these imaginal cells contain within their DNA the design for the organism that is about to come into being, which is the beautiful butterfly. But as the imaginal cells begin to wake up and move into action, they're immediately met with resistance. The immune system of the caterpillar begins to push back against the imaginal cells, trying to maintain the status quo of the caterpillar. Have you ever pushed back against something new that wanted to emerge through you, some new vision for your life? Have you ever resisted change? Even if it's something that will probably be better for you. I know I have. The unknown can seem so unsettling and just a little bit scary. And there's this fear of change and the unknown that sometimes we let hold us back, we keep that new vision from emerging through that fear. And when I look around at the world right now, knowing that radical change is needed for us to move forward in our human evolution, you know, I can see and I can feel the fear of people pushing back and trying to resist the change that is so desperately needed. You know, and in more subtle ways, I see myself doing the same thing in certain areas of my life, you know, just like the caterpillar resists the imaginal cells, you know, human beings often push back against change. But if we're aware of it, if we're aware of what we're doing, we can change that. We can change that tendency. And I think it will ultimately take the courage and the dedication of individuals like you and me coming together to create real change and to begin right where we are. So back to the imaginal cells. So as time goes on, these imaginal cells gain more and more energy and momentum, you know, because what happens is that the caterpillar begins to reach what scientists call critical unworkability. You know, the caterpillar can't continue the way it's been. It can't, it has to evolve. And so these imaginal cells actually begin to feed off the decaying matter of the old caterpillar. It sounds a little gruesome, but what's actually happening is that the old is becoming the foundational material for the new. And then as these imaginal cells become stronger, they do something phenomenal. They form communities. They come together in groups and they share genetic information. They work together. And that gives them even more and more power. And pretty soon, they are the empowered force designing the new organism that will become the butterfly. Isn't that amazing? I just think that's just phenomenal. And we know that as the butterfly begins to emerge from the chrysalis, it needs that challenge of having to break free from the chrysalis. It's the breaking free from the chrysalis that actually pushes the fluid, the life fluids into the wings, and it builds the butterfly's strength to emerge and to fly free, to fly out. And I have to ask myself, how many times have I cursed the challenges in my life, not realizing until maybe later down the road that they were actually the vehicle through which the new vision of my life was emerging. You know what I mean? Not realizing that the old experience was becoming the foundation for my new life, for the new vision, for the better yet to be. You know, and I just think that this is just such a powerful metaphor, you know, especially right now, because it seems as if our world is moving into a state of critical unworkability. And this is the time to imagine, to allow those imaginal cells among us, and we are the imaginal cells, to take over and move us into something new, you know, to create that shift in our collective experience. And that shift requires that we make a shift in our own individual personal experiences, in our own lives. And many of us are doing just that. I know this group. Many of us are already on our road, on our way to that. And as I look around and I see that the human race around us is rapidly moving into a state of critical unworkability, I also see that just like the butterfly emerging from that chrysalis, we're gaining strength and we're gaining the necessary clarity from our experiences to realize that the way things are is no longer workable. We can't keep dividing ourselves, us against them, or nation against nation, or people against people. It's no longer workable to exclude others, you know, to foster bigotry. And it's also not workable to be apathetic. We can't continue to close our eyes to what's going on in the environment and to ignore the experience of millions and millions of people on our planet who are poor and starving. It's just not workable anymore. And if we can embrace the fact that we're moving into that space of critical unworkability, then just like the imaginal cells, we can create communities, powerful communities that are dedicated to a new vision And we can make way for the visionaries among us, including us. We are the visionaries to shine our lights brightly. We can move into community to create more compassionate and loving communities and a more compassionate and loving world, to create a workable world again. So I have to ask all of us, how can we contribute? How can we be in service? Can we daily connect with the light of the divine within us and bring that light into the community, to shine our collective light to create something new where everyone thrives, everyone has the opportunity to thrive? Coming together in community offers us so much. It just supports us individually by inviting us to ask ourselves empowering questions, by helping us to discover what it is we truly believe about ourselves and our creator and our place in the world. It invites us to discover what gifts we have to share with the world. What have I come here to do? Community educates us through the sharing of ideas, through spiritual literature, through sharing our ideas with each other, bouncing them off of each other, our thoughts and our experiences. It teaches us tools and spiritual practices that support us in the challenging times that we have to walk through as human beings. And it offers us a sense of belonging. It gives us that safe place to go as we walk through life challenges. It gives us an opportunity to practice showing up in love and care and in compassion for each other, for ourselves, and it invites us to strengthen our own resolve to bring all of these things into the world. I think that sense of belonging and knowing that we all share this intention strengthens our resolve, and to bring that out into the larger community. Spiritual community teaches us to live the spiritual truths that we discover within us, that we call our own, that we know are the truth, the light within us. And it helps us to bring those into our everyday lives, even when it's challenging and maybe even a little inconvenient. So I read this really wonderful example that I really want to share with you. I just read it and it really moved me. And it's a story from war-torn Ukraine. And the story is that there's a Ukrainian man who was hiding in Mariupol. He was hiding in a bomb shelter with his family. And one day he came out to go get food and he spotted this car with the keys in the ignition. So he went back and he gathered his family and they all got in the car and they drove to a relatively safer town in, I forget what it was called, Vinnytsia or something. And when he was driving, his wife found a phone number in the glove compartment. And so he called the number and it turned out to be the car's owner. And he said, "I'm so sorry, I stole your car, but I was saving my family." And the man on the other end, the owner, he replied, "Thank God, don't worry." He said, "I have 4 cars and I took my family out in the SUV and I refueled all my other cars and left them in different places with the keys in them and my phone number in the glove compartment." And he went on to say that so far he'd received a call back from someone in every car who had gotten to safety. And then he added that once there's peace, he hoped that they'd see each other. And he told the man to stay safe with his family. Every time I hear that story, I get all choked up because it's just, it's a modern day a Good Samaritan story, right? And this is the meaning in our individual lives of taking that caring and compassion that we develop in our smaller communities out into the larger community, in our own hearts, and how we bring it alive in a way that only we can do. And that's what forms the communities of imaginal selves that we were talking about this morning. And I know, and I'm sure you know too, that this one simple act will radically change the lives of this man and his family and all of the families that got away into safety in those cars. That will never forget it. It will be a life-changing moment. And they will know that in their most desperate moment, They were the recipients of grace and compassion. And that changes us and that impacts the world, whether we're the giver or the receiver. It changes us. You know, I think about things like when I hesitate to give a homeless person money because I don't know what they're going to do with the money, or if I don't know if my gift will even help them. You know, I thought about that on Friday on my way to deliver the gifts and the money that we collected for our Adopt a Family fundraiser. Let me tell you about my experience. It was pretty phenomenal. You know, we all, as a spiritual community, gave a whopping $600 to the Adopt a Family event. But let me help you understand the impact of our gift. You know, we adopted a family with a 43-year-old single mom who until very recently was living in her car with her 3 kids, a 13-year-old girl, Layla, her 12-year-old son, Francisco, and their 10-year-old little sister, Laylee. Can you even imagine what that experience would be like as the mother, as the children, you know? So our collective donations gave me the opportunity to shop for this mom and her kids. So I took $200 out of the $600 and I bought each of them a gift for $50. So they'd have some tangible thing to unwrap. And then I bought 4 gift cards in the amount of $100 each. And I put them in gift card envelopes and put them in their bags so that they can go and get something that they want for themselves. You know, it's hard to know what they all really desire. So I packaged everything up with the appropriate labels. And on Friday, I took it all over to the drop-off spot at the North County Interfaith Services. And I can't tell you how surprised I was to see the celebration going on at the drop-off spot. You know, almost all of the interfaith staff was there at the curb. There was music playing, there was food, there was goodies. I got a bunch of cookies that I really didn't need, but they were wonderful. And they were all collecting the gifts in this big gathering and celebration. It was really joyful. There was this sense of just deep gratitude in the air. And it just lifted me up in the vibration of love, you know, and the entire thing just kind of made my heart sing, and it stayed with me for hours afterwards. It just felt so good. I wish you all could have been there to share the joy of it with me. It was inspiring. And this is just such a great example of how an inspired community in action can make an impact, you know, both our community and the interfaith community. You know, this is the work of the imaginal cells. This is community of imaginal cells leading the way and bringing us out of that state of critical unworkability and moving us into the new vision. You know, and I just want to thank all of you for your kind-hearted and compassionate donations. It just made a difference. And this experience has really inspired me to help us as a community to find new ways to be in compassionate service to the larger community. And honestly, it doesn't matter how big or small our contributions are. It's just raising the vibration of love in the world, you know, activating ourselves as the imaginal cells, you know, coming together in community to do the important work, you know, to do what seems impossible and to know that nothing is impossible in God. So I just really want to thank you. I read another story the other day too, and I wanted to, this whole experience reminded me of this. And the story was about the Wright brothers, because I saw this article about how we're coming up on the 119th anniversary of that first flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. It was on December 23rd, 1903. And the story of the Wright brothers is a good example of the caterpillar's immune system kind of staging a pushback on the imaginal cells, because everybody was telling the Wright brothers they could not do this. There were so many naysayers who refused to believe that air flight was possible, much less, you know, becoming the method of public travel that we know it is today. Did you know that at any given moment today, there are more than 6,000 passengers in the air flying to somewhere? You know, just a cool piece of trivia too is a piece of the airplane that the Wright brothers flew on that first flight, that the one that launched this entire age of air travel, the flight itself was only a quarter of a mile. It wasn't very far, but that piece of cloth from the plane made history last April. It took a ride on NASA's Ingenuity helicopter, which is on the surface of Mars. The Wright brothers didn't listen to the pushback. They gathered their imaginal selves together and they took us into this new era. They had a vision and they shared it with their small community, and that moved it into the larger community of human experience. And we can do that too. This is an inspiring example of what's possible when we don't resist, when we get out of our own way. So here's the thing, we can observe and acknowledge and even act without the energy of making somebody else wrong or making ourselves wrong. We can see what is without any, inner animosity, without any resistance or judgment. We may not always like what we see around us, but we can use it to move us into action, and we can become more compassionate, less prejudiced, less dogmatic. We can let go of our need to be absolutely sure we're right and someone else is wrong. Have you ever done that? I have. We can have a greater sense of humor and a greater capacity for opening up and for loving and for belonging. And here's the thing, that I think is so important. We can stop trying to fix things. We don't fix anything. We create something new. We stand on the old and we build something new. We create something new with the divine presence that is moving through us, that we are. We stand in our own light, not hiding it under a basket like Jesus told us not to do. And then we stand together in that bright light, like a city on the mountain. We can let our imaginal selves kind of have their way with us and pave the way forward to something new and something magnificent, which highlights the brilliance of the divine through our humanity. That's what we're here to be. We're here to express God. God is knowing itself through us. And then we move that out into the world. We can do it. We are the imaginal selves. We are the change makers and the experience and expression of the divine. So let's pray. Let's take a nice deep centering breath in. Oh, I know that God is a community of imaginal selves. And within those imaginal cells is the DNA, the blueprint, the seed, the information for this new vision that wants to express itself through its creation, through us, for we are one with it. We are God in expression. So I speak my word for and about each and every one that is on this call, each and every one that is not, for our Blessed Mother, for all people, anyone that is experiencing any difficulty. We hold them in our heart and know for them that they are the imaginal selves too, and that they are coming together in communion with all life, with God itself, to express something new in their individual lives, in our individual lives, in our communities, and in our world, in our larger oneness with all life. So I hold that space open for the goodness of God, the love, the joy, the creative energy, the sheer bliss of being alive for each and every person and each and every creation of the divine. I just give great thanks for that. I know that this gratitude opens me up even further. It opens us all up even further to the full acceptance, allowance, and expression of the divine good that wants to be born through us. So I just relax in this knowing all is well. And together we signify our agreement by saying, and so it is. And so it is. All right, you guys, you go out there this week and you be those imaginal selves. Just love that idea. Oh my goodness. And let's see, you know what? I just realized I have no idea who's doing the benediction today. Not a clue. Lisa, thank you for knowing.
Yes, It is I. Oh, that was wonderful, Michelle. And I just want to, it is now time for our sacred giving. And I just wanted to mention that I know that at this time of year, all of the compassionate organizations in the world are asking for our help. And so I just would like to call your attention to the fact that it's also a value to remember the place that feeds you spiritually at this Christmas time. So at any rate, I would like to ask for your donations. And I believe that, there's Venmo, which you can put your donation into. And then also, if you prefer, you can send a check, and the address for the check is on the chat. So if we could say together the sacred giving blessing. Everything flows from the nature of God's good. We receive from this flow. We give from this flow. We give in gratitude and in love. We have faith in the infinite giving nature of spirit. And so it is.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes.
Beautiful. Oh, look. Oh, Renetta didn't get an hour and a half alone. There's a golden.
There's a little face.
Oh, goodness. Yvonne, do you have some announcements for us?
I do have some. Tomorrow evening, Monday evening, is our prayer group from 6 to 6:20, and we invite you to please join us to silently pray for One Heart, One Mind Center. Tuesday evening, we have our spiritual learning group from 6 to 7. And this week, we'll be discussing another spiritual practice from the book, Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And this one is, we're going to be talking about process number 2, which is the magician creation box. That sounds fun.
Actually, I kind of twisted that a little bit. We will talk about that, but I sent you chapter 11, I think, too, to read. Anyway, I already sent that out, but it's pretty cool. But we'll still talk about processes too.
Okay, terrific. We're going to have a holiday prayer. There will be a holiday prayer on Wednesday, December 14th at 6 p.m. And you can join Practitioner Ralane in a special time of prayerful love and support. And Ralane, do you want to say anything about that?
Sure. It's just a great time for all of us to get together and pray. The holidays is a good time, I think, to come together and have that feeling of connection. And you can have something you would like to pray for, or you can just participate and hold prayers for everyone else. So I hope to see you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Holiday candle lighting is going to be Friday, December 23rd at 7 p.m. on Zoom, hosted by Reverend Michelle. Do you need to say anything about that, Michelle? Did I get it all?
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna have lots of candles. So if you don't have any candles at your house that you want to light, I'll light one here.
Great. And one other thing, New Year's release and intention setting. This is going to be a hybrid ceremony. So you can go in person if you want to, or you can do it on Zoom. And it's going to be Saturday, December 31st at 10:30 in the morning. And that'll be at Reverend Michelle's home in Escondido if you choose to go in person. And if you don't want to go in person, you'll be able to have the code to get into it on Zoom. And that's
I'll make cookies.
Oh boy. That's worth it just in itself.
And you can bring your dog if you want, Yvonne.
Oh, that's such a pain because you got to get everything off the floor if anybody's.
Oh, it's okay. I have a dog.
Well, that's what's scary. Anyway, that's it for me.
All right. Thank you so much. And I haven't put it in the e-newsletter yet, Gina and I haven't, but just a reminder that on January 22nd, our service, it's going to be on Zoom, is going to be, the message is going to be given and the music is going to be performed by Karen Drucker. Woohoo! So spread the word. She is amazing and I can't believe she agreed to do it first, but she did. So Karen Drucker is going to be our guest speaker in January. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, let's see, benediction by Lisa and then music by Jackie. You're still muted, Lisa.
So if we can come together again with a nice deep breath, knowing that this service has been truly blessed in its reminding us how we are all one. In addition to which, reminding us that that oneness includes the fact that we are individualized expressions of the one creative spirit that is constantly guiding and directing us in a place of being ready to create the new, create what needs to come next, to be those compassionate cells that pull away the old and bring out the new in love and compassion, with a joyful center and a joyful conclusion. And so I'm so grateful to know that this is so, and so grateful that we have been blessed with a service that is joyful and compassionate in itself. And thanks to the music and the prayers and the announcements, I know that we leave here with a renewed sense of the joy of the season, of the sense of light and love that is always around us, but at this time of year is acknowledged by many more people. And so I release my word into the law, and we release together by saying, and so it is.
So it is beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Jackie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful service. Really wonderful being here with you, all of you. And Reverend Michelle, I really loved your talk. I love the metamorphosis of the butterfly and imaginal cells. It was really wonderful. And I also love Miss Karen Drucker. So I'm going to do a song by Karen Drucker now and just dedicate this to the beauty within all of us, the beauty that I see in all of you. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the strength in you. And so it is. I see the joy that's in you. I see your light shining through. I see the strength in you. And so it is. I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know that you are an angel full of magic and power, pure sweet love. I see the goodness in you. I see the wisdom in you. I see the strength in you. And so it is. I see the joy that's in you. I see your light shining through. I see the love that's in you. And so it is. and I can see it. You know that it's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power. Pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you. I see the courage in you. I see the heart in you. And so it is. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you. And so it is. I see the beauty in you, yeah, beauty in you. I see the power in you. And you can repeat after me. I see the greatness in you. I see the greatness in you. I see the goodness in you, yeah. I see the wisdom in you. I see the wisdom in you. I see the strength in you, yeah, yes. And I see the joy in you, yes. I see your light shining, shining. I see the love in you, yes. And I see the grace in you. I see the courage in you, yes. I see the heart in you. Yes. I see the love in you, and so it is. I see the joy in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you, and so it is. I see the love in you, and so it is.
It was perfect. That was perfect closing song for the talk and the entire service. Thank you so much, Jackie. That was beautiful. Just beautiful. Oh, wow. So does anybody have anything they'd like to